My friends, welcome back to another podcast, episode number 4. We are on a roll. Yes, number 4. I don't have a guest with me today, but I just want to talk about a simple idea, a question that I've been asked by parents. And it's a question that I, as a youth director or working with boys for the last few years, has come to my heart in trying to figure out how to form them and accompany them. And it's this question: how can I have a meaningful conversation with my child, with a young person, with a middle schooler or high schooler, right? When they reach that moment where you're like, okay, we got to stop having these one-sided or one-worded conversations like, how's it going? Good, right? Or how is so-and-so's party? And it's okay. Or when they're having a bad day, right? How's it going? And I don't want to talk about it. All these things. And you as a parent, and for me as a priest or as a director, I always feel like, gosh, there's so much more they could share. How can I provoke that? So I have 3 things that I actually do a lot with the boys, or things that I ask them. The 3 key questions that I ask them that kind of provoke their own processing and their own expressing of what's going on here or in here, that really help the conversation and have really profound and worthwhile conversations, and helps them. This is a huge goal. It helps them learn that they are trusted, they are listened to, they are loved, right? When the parent themselves make that effort to ask these key questions, it opens up a space in their heart where they're like, oh, mom and dad aren't just like creating random conversations, or they're just not trying to get their point across to me, or they're going to correct me or something, right? It's a space where they can actually feel trusted. So first question, ask why. When you ask them how it went and they give you a one-word answer, even if they give you a good answer, it's always helpful to ask why. Like, why do you say that? Why was it good? Why was it bad? It forces them to take a step back and actually reason out why it went the way they thought it went, right? Why? The reason. Even in our own lives, it helps ask that question, right? Why do I feel that way, right? So ask why. Ask why. The second is, how did you feel about that, right? It can go before the why or after the why, but how did you feel about that? How do you feel about this thing that happened? Or how do you feel about the thing at school or with your friends, or an event, right? When siblings are fighting and you separate them and you want to talk to them about, how do you feel about hurting your brother or your sister, right? Or they came back from a soccer game and you're just really having a good time, and like, how do you feel about winning, right? It forces them not just to reason why, but it forces them to verbalize their emotion, right? It helps them put words to what they're feeling, because as they get older, as they mature, they form these habits of, I'm feeling something and I can verbalize that, right? The third one is something that's very basic, and a lot of my old adult mentors when I was younger would ask me about this. Even my parents, they would ask, what do you think about that? They'd come home and they'd say like, this happened, or bring like some current event or the news. And they'd ask me as a high schooler, so what do you think about that? What do you think about this thing that the Pope said, or the church said, or this thing in the news, or this tragedy? Like, what do you think about that? Right? It's a question that's not asking reasons. It's not a question that's not asking for emotions. It's a question that's asking opinion, right? And many of our young people aren't formed enough or given the space enough to share their opinions. They don't know how. They don't know how to share it in the right way, in the right context. They're not fully equipped to share that in an objective way, right? And we, as their formators, as their mentors, as their parents, how beautiful would that be when they can come home to a place where they can be respectfully and deeply opinionated in a way that they know they are heard, and they know they're trusted, and they know they're loved, right? And with these 3 things, there's so many ways we can do this, but with these 3 questions, we actually start that journey of having those meaningful conversations. And it helps us actually have a deeper relationship with our kid. And they don't see dad or mom as, oh, they're just the rule imposers. I can't talk to mom and dad. They're just going to get mad at me. No. Mom and dad become friends and mentors and trusted guides, right? And then your kid can open up and they know now mom and dad do love me because they care and they want to know and they want to know and they're here to listen, right? If we can do that, right, in a very simple way, starting with our younger kids, as they get older, that trust gets even stronger and that love gets even more powerful. And then that relationship becomes so beautiful. So beautiful that no matter how hard life can get for them as they get older, they'll know they have a home they can come to and parents that they can go to that will listen to them and know that they are loved by them. So those things, very simple ideas, but hopefully that's something you can think about for this next week and share it with others and try it out. Try it out with your kids, try it out amongst yourselves, and even in your own personal processing of life. These are questions that do help a lot. So until next time, God bless you and pray for me as I pray for all of you.